Homosexuality is an abomination.
Because these homosexuals are pedophiles by nature.
Jail time for homosexual act.
It's unnatural.
They can't reproduce and eventually they would die.
Because they need to be quarantined. They'll continue in their rebellion and they will be damned to hell, and rightly so.
Homosexuality is already illegal.
The homosexuals, and it's wrong.
Homosexuality is an abomination.
That all homosexuals are pedophiles.
It's a tragic sin.
Must report homosexuals.
But there is no real Christian who accepts homosexuality.
People who are a part of the LGBTQ+ community worldwide know about experiencing sexuality and the concept of coming out. It's very common when coming out that you experience a plethora of emotions and worried thoughts that sit at the back of your mind bothering you until you finally come out. For many, it goes well and their family and friends are supportive, but for a lot of people it does not go too well and their family and friends may not accept them and try and tell them it's a phase that will pass soon. This may be due to religious reasons, or it could be due to a misunderstanding of what being a part of this community means. Being a part of this community means that you're accepting of your sexuality and the others around you because you all share a mutual understanding of what you're experiencing. Also, being a part of this community means that you will have people around you that understand you and can help you with things that your friends and family may not be able to help with. Many people of religion who do not agree with being homosexual might think that this community is convincing people to go against God and commit sin, when it's actually about finding yourself and opening yourself to what you truly intended to do and how you feel towards people, whether that is of the same gender or yourself, and finding out your true identity through gender and sexuality. Even though we've made leaps and bounds to create an equal and safe understanding of LGBTQ+ people in this society, there are still places around the world that have outdated views on homosexuals, meaning that there are certain countries that if you're found out to be homosexual you could be sentenced to time in prison, or in very few countries you could be sentenced to the death penalty. This information affects the community worldwide because even though you might be safe and accepted where you are, there are people who are just like those who are being forced into hiding and masking their life and their identity for their safety. Here are some facts about LGBTQ+ people over the years. LGBT youth are almost 5 times as likely to have attempted suicide compared to heterosexual youth. 1 in 20 LGBT people, 5%, have been pressured to access services to question or change their sexual orientation when accessing healthcare services, while 1 in 5 trans people, 20%, have been pressured to access services to suppress their gender identity. In July 2009, the Senate approved the Matthew Shepard Act, which outlaws hate crimes based on both sexual orientation and gender identity. The Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, which restricted lesbians, gays, and bisexuals in the military from openly serving, was lifted in 2011. People who are transgender are not permitted to serve openly yet. Although homosexuality was once thought to be a mental illness, the American Psychiatric and Psychological Associations no longer consider it to be one. Psychiatric and psychological attempts to cure lesbians and gay men have failed to change the sexual orientation of the patient. These treatments may help change sexual behavior temporarily, but can also create emotional trauma. Many LGBTQ+ people are scared to come out if they know that their family will not be understanding, because they are scared that they could be sent to a conversion camp, which is a place where parents send their troubled children because they do not apply to the heteronormalcy that they are used to growing up with. Even though there are many petitions and protests to close these camps, many still exist all around the world, causing worry in many LGBTQ+ people around the world. Over the last few years, it's become increasingly more accepted to be openly gay because we've been taught over the years that being homosexual is not a choice and that it is natural. We've been more open in education on the homosexual lifestyle and how it's just like any other lifestyle. I would like to conclude by saying that I think our world now is a safer and more open-minded place for people to live in without living in constant fear.